Hello and welcome. It's The Chat, and I am Manny. My guest on the program is very, very interesting personality. You'll find out in just a moment.
Ibidun Allison, born over 60 years ago in the then western regional part of Nigeria, is a veteran artist known for her role as Avwebo in the NTA TV series The Village Headmaster. After her secondary education in Lagos State, Ibidun studied speech and drama at the Guildhall School of Music and Drama and studied television production at the London School of Television Production. She also worked with Nigeria Broadcasting Corporation, NBC. She worked with the BBC in both home and African service programs. She was a member of drama groups in Ibadan, Lagos and London in the early and mid-60s. Ibidun was a cast member of the Village Headmaster TV series that ran on the Nigeria Television Authority for over 4 decades. Her role as the town gossip, known as Avwebo, stood her out as one to watch out for. She was a member of the governing councils of the Nigerian Film Corporation and the Copyright Commission of Nigeria. In 2000, Ibidun was the chairman of the subcommittee of the ceremonials for the Ghana-Nigeria African Nations Cup, CAF. Ibidun Allison is blessed with 3 biological children, but has many other children she looks after.
Well, it's good to know that you are looking the same way, Ibidun Allison, like I used to see you. God knows, must be about 30 years now since the program had been, going on Nigerian television.
50 years.
50 years.
50 years.
My goodness. And nobody would have guessed when you were on the Village Headmaster program that you could speak English. All through, it was it okay, a bit of pidgin English, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was all pidgin English.
Nobody thought that as you presented yourself, you ever went to school, wasn't it?
That's acting.
Yes, okay.
Actor or actress has to be.
Fair enough, but you did it excellently well. I mean, you fooled most of us. Meeting you now makes me think of you differently. I could even
differently
speak.
In a good way, yeah, I hope.
Yeah. What, by the way, does Avwebo stand for?
The word Avwebo is from Delta or Bendel, if you want to use it like that. The actual meaning of Avwebo is the favorite wife of a man who has more than one wife. And so she's closest to him. And he tells her everything. Tells her what other people do not know. So she is the Avwebo. Actually, that word should be spelled like with a little bit of V, with a V, with the sound of a V. Avwebo, but we can't say it like
Avwebo.
Yes, Avwebo. Some of these names from Delta and Bendel have V's in them, like the Obiageli. Like for instance, but they are silent.
Well, your role in that Village Headmaster was one who would not mind her business.
That's what they say.
Is that like you in real life? How would you describe your person?
I guess not.
What do you mean, I guess not? What are you trying to say? That you don't nose into like people's affairs?
I don't. I really don't do that. This is acting, you know that now. I don't.
So how did you get involved in it? I mean, because you came in from the UK then. You worked on radio as a radio presenter, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, and presentation was all you were doing. You were not in the drama department.
I wasn't, but I was also a member of the NBC drama group.
Okay.
So we were acting plays, like every week we were acting plays. I was even doing children's program on radio as well. Even though I was a presenter, I was presenting children's program then, and doing so many other things. Sometimes I called the women's program, we were asked to come and say 1 or 2 things. But when I came back, I believe that I was very opportune to have gone to the NBC. I went to England from the Ministry of Information on scholarship. And when I finished my course, I came back. I went back. to the Ministry of Information. And one day, Mr. Emmanuel Omashola, who now heard that I had come back, just came to my house. Said he asked somebody, where does Ibidu live now? He came to my house. I said, look, Ibidu, I'm glad you're here. So I told him, I said, you know, I'm in the ministry. So you have to ask for transfer from the ministry. Of course, their own ministry, the television, I mean, NBC was still under the Ministry of Information. So you have to ask for transfer. So that was what they did. They got the transfer for me, but I was there already. And he said, look, the person who is here now is Friday Ifode. And I had known Friday Ifode. In fact, as a little girl, we grew up together in Sapele. On the same street. I said, Friday? He said, yes. And before I went to England, of course, we were all doing plays together, drama plays and things like that. So he said, okay, when you get to the studio, he will put you through the controls and everything, what you need to do, blah, blah, blah. So I went.
Who were your contemporaries then?
Oh, well, Julie Coker was one of them. In Ibadan, you mean? It was Rosemary Anyeze, who is now Rosemary Anyeze Adams. We had Mrs. Bayewu now, Sisi Remy was there. Of course, Ted Mukuru, the late Ted Mukuru was there with us. Bruce Obiageli was there with us. Taye Ayoride was there with us. Tunde Anima Shawan was there with us. So when I came from Ibadan, I went to the Ministry of Information here in Lagos. And from there I went abroad. So when I came back, I wasn't completely new.
How did you react when you got the role of that person who was supposed to be a gossip in a village setting, you know?
That's a very interesting question. A very interesting question, because when I was invited by Segun Olushola, the late Ambassador Olushola. And I said to him, I said, well, what? I don't know. He had given me the script to read. I looked at it. I said, anyway, just 2 lines, about 2 lines I had to do. I said, okay, I'll come. So I went, and my producer there was David Orere, who was, he's late now. And we read it and we acted it, and that was it for that day. And I said, well, David said, look, we are going to do this thing. This is gossip. And the first thing I did was to gossip, was to tell them about something that was happening. So I said, David, why are you giving me? He said, you are going to do it. And that was how I started.
Gossiping.
Yes. But I'll tell you something about the gossip.
Yeah.
I never lie. I embellish, perhaps.
Okay.
But I never lied.
You were always just always there.
Yes.
At the right time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I never lied about anything.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well,
if it hadn't happened, it was sure to happen.
No, you could imagine the level of frustration sometimes when you show up in certain scenes and people will go, oh my God, Avwebo is there again, and all of that. But hang on, this continued for a very long period. And unfortunately now you appear to be just one but a few of the remaining members of that cast.
Yes, unfortunately. Yes, that's right.
I mean...
But do you know that at present, we are planning to celebrate the 50th anniversary. We're going to have a commemorative celebration of the Village Headmaster this year, because this year is 50 years. You'll be amazed to know that at least we have found over 90 members, 90 people who passed through or who acted.
Age must have taken toll on some of you.
That's right.
Hasn't it? Can you play the same role of Avwebo as...
Of course I can. Why not?
Yeah?
Of course I can. Why do you think I can't?
Okay.
I can.
Fair enough. So what's the plan now?
The plan now is to try and rally around all the members, all the actors and actresses, even the writers and the producers and floor managers and you name it, all those who worked on the Village Headmaster program.
In this modern day of, drama, Nollywood and all of that, do you think that Village Headmaster is still relevant?
Very relevant.
Why do you say so?
Village Headmaster is not just Village Headmaster, or their village. So why wouldn't a village be relevant even now? People die, people are born, Visitors come to the village, people go out. The village headmaster, the concept is that of a village, and has a little bit to do with politics, the kind of politics that go on that goes on in the village, what the people do. We have traders, we have market women, we have an oba, we have chiefs. It's a village. People are thinking just, oh, the village headmaster. No, this is something happening in a village, so the village cannot die.
But I understand, in the opinion of some people, that you have drifted completely from the concept. So what's the end of the program? What's it called, Village Headmaster itself, before it eventually went off air, that you had drifted completely from the original concept. The focus was meant to be on the Village Headmaster. Then eventually it started drifting towards either Eleyimi, Councillor Balogun. The emphasis now turned onto these people. How do you hope to make it really Village Headmaster?
We cannot make it Village Headmaster per se.
Because that's the focus.
That is the title of the program. Because in a village, you have a headmaster, you have a pastor, you have a teacher, you have a nurse, you have a doctor, you have an oba, just as I said before. You have school people, you have traders, you have a palm wine bar like Avwebo has. That is a village. Life goes on in the village. So we haven't drifted. We probably focus on one aspect of the village, at each given time. But we haven't drifted at all.
What are your thoughts on the present day Nollywood?
I think they're doing well. They're doing well. But as I say, you learn every day. We still have to continue learning. They're doing very well. I've watched some of their movies, and some of these movies you can actually compare.
Are they really reflecting our culture and our society? Do you think, Village Headmaster, you could say, are focused on the village and the settings in the village, and it was very relevant at that time. But do you think present-day Nollywood is representing truly our culture and our society, as it were?
That's a question for me to think about. But as far as I know, they are trying to, even if they're not doing it the way that they should now. That's why I said.
Can you explain when you say the way that they should? What would you have? What would you like to see?
I would like to see more of the culture, but not. Things are changing, and we should try as much as possible to change with the times. This is a long, long time ago. I saw, they said it was part of the culture, where they were slaughtering a ram, and they put the ram on the head of the person in the river and slaughtered the ram, and all the blood poured on that person. We don't have to show that, really. Some of these things can be changed, modernized, yet we will not lose the essence of it all.
When you left advertising, was it the same reason you left radio?
No. I left advertising because I wanted to go on my own. I wanted to do things.
You appear to be restless.
I wanted to do things for myself, by myself, with myself.
Things like what?
That's good. That is a very good question. I did so many things. I don't have to tell you now. There was never a dull moment.
So what do you spend your time doing these days?
These days, well, I am in and out of the country, taking care of grandchildren, and yes, relaxing a bit.
That's an occupation.
It is.
Is it a profession?
It is an occupation. It is really an occupation. But I like traveling. I like watching plays.
So where have you not been? Where haven't you traveled to?
Well, I haven't gone to Russia yet.
Oh, okay. You may have missed out from the last big events.
I watched it. I've been to Australia, actually.
You have?
Yes.
That's the end of the world.
I went for the Olympics. Yes, I went for the Olympics in 2000.
Wow.
Pick a question, Ibidun Allison. How do you protect intellectual property in a situation where the owner has no value for it?
As a member of the Board of Governors of the Nigerian Film Corporation, we used to hold our monthly meetings, quarterly meetings in Jos. We went to Jos and they took us to the archives to see programs and things, everything there. And there was not a copy of the Village Headmaster program there. We had Cockcrow at Dawn, we had some of the other ones, but I believe Village Headmaster was the beginning of all that. There was not one copy. So I asked the lady in charge, I said, what's happening here? Why is there no Village Headmaster program copy here? And she said to me, well, madam, we put in the archives what we are told to put there. So your question when you say that when the owner of the program does not really value the program, that's what it is. That's why we had that. So I came to NTA here and I said, I went to see the director of programs there, and I won't mention names. And I said to him, I said, what's happening? I'm just coming from Jos. And this was what I was told. Why is it not there? Oh, he said, Auntie, you know, I just took over and I'm going to find out what's happening. I don't really know. I said, you don't know? Well, I'm telling you. This was as far back as 2003. And as we're sitting down here speaking, it is not there.
Hopefully,
there is no copy.
Hopefully, you'll be able to grab one of yours this time around.
Do I have one?
Well, when you start the new Village
Headmaster. We hope that people who are telling us.
But what do you think really is responsible for this, attitude?
That's a shame.
Yeah,
that is a shame, because when you look back at let me see, the Radio Nigeria, for instance, some of the director generals there are people of note, people that you will say, yes, these people know what they are doing. So why don't we have them in the archives?
Exciting NTA,
I beg your pardon?
No, go on.
Yes, it is not, I don't think it is the director generals, but the people who work for them or who work under them. They are the people who are doing this. Why should Village Headmaster program not be in the archives?
You couldn't go to the United Kingdom, for instance, and not find a copy of Coronation Street, which has been running for literally
years.
hundreds of years.
For hundreds of years. Yes. And let me tell you something. I went to England at one time, and we went to the museum. I didn't go in. I left the children there. One of my children went in. And because she had a friend there who was the only Nigerian on that board, on the board of the museum then. And she was introduced. She said, this is the daughter of that woman who plays Avwebo in the Village Headmaster. And you know what they said? The museum staff said, oh, that classic. We have it here. They have it there. We don't have it here. Isn't that a shame?
Indeed.
Because we do not value what we have.
Just step back a bit and look at the state of the nation today. What do you think?
I don't know what to say, but it is pathetic. Because this nation, if you look back in the 60s and 70s, this was considered a great nation, if not the greatest in Africa. But see where we are today. Because people are selfish, they think of themselves alone. People who are there are not doing the right thing, do not want to leave and let people who can do it. People just want money. It's just money, no matter how they get that money, at the expense of the masses. I don't know how we live. Some of us just exist. We don't live. You go to the market as a woman, you go to the market, you see what is there in the market, you are shocked how people eat. That's not for a country like Nigeria, a country who had so much wealth. Do you know that in the 60s, they were begging Nigeria to buy Harlem in America because we had so much money. I want to say this is my own, what I think. I believe that the NASS, the National Assembly or whatever, should be a part-time job. Because most of our money is there. Why? Should be a part-time job. People should have their own jobs. And they meet there maybe, twice a month or twice a week or something, and they are paid for that. But they go, they just earn them. They don't earn the money, they just take the money. I don't believe that they should be earning what they are earning. Even the President of America doesn't earn that much. Why? When people are suffering, people are suffering. People can't even eat 2 meals.
I mean, it would seem, as some people would say, unfair of you to focus only on the national.
Yes, that is the first one for me.
Okay, but I mean, there are other arms of government
There are other arms of government. I know, but that for me is the first one. I'm telling you, there are people who are working hard for their money.
You would never have gone into politics, would you?
Maybe if I started early.
Well,
if I started early.
Now that we're almost coming to the end of the road, is there anything that you think you would have done that you regret you did not do?
I have no regrets. I keep telling people I have no regrets, because all the things I have done, I have been successful to a point. I believe that God is my guiding light, and He's guiding me. So whatever it is that I have done, I have no regrets.
You're about to be cast away on an island for 10 days, and you're expected to take along with you 5 items, 5 most important items to you, to keep you company while you're there. What would they be?
I will take my Bible with me. Because I want to get up every day, or I want to be able to read, to give me some kind of upliftment. If I can, I will take as much water as I can take with me. I will take, I'm a Catholic, so I will take my rosary with me as well. The Bible, the rosary, I will take those things. Yeah, if I can take some music with me, I will. What will I take now? I will take my wits with me so that I can think. I don't know what else to say.
That's all right. That's fine. That's really wonderful talking to you. Ibidun Allison. Would you return again in life as Avwebo? Would you like to?
I would very much like to. If the people want me, I will. Because I know that some people say I make them happy.
Well.
I would like to continue making them happy. I would love to be back.
Well done. You are all alone at home here. Where are the rest of them?
Well, they are not young, they are adults. They are all in their various homes. My son is here, but he's gone to work now. And I'm never alone. I have nieces, I have cousins, I have people. I cannot live alone. I cannot stay alone. So if you take me to that island, I don't know what I'm going to do. I am not alone at all.
Okay.
I visit and
besides, God is with you.
Yes.
Thank you very much for being on the program.
My pleasure.
I've enjoyed your company.
Thank you too for having me.
Right. It's been The Chat with Ibidun Allison Avwebo. I am Manny. Go out there and have yourself a great week. See you next time. The Chat is produced by Channels Television. You can watch it again online. Just visit our social media platforms: Twitter, YouTube, Facebook.